me tonight. They got to see me.
I think if you got a guy like that, built like that, 6'4", you got to trust.
Everybody watching tonight. So I tell you what, if you get fired into the next, you're in the wrong business. We control this. We run this. And anybody coming out of the house,
they got Jordan Davis last season. They bring Fletcher Cox back in Philly. So I'm sitting there like, we need to put something on this offensive line to combat that. What is going on? Welcome back, everybody. The Dallas Cowboys put it down on Washington 38-10. They came, they saw, they conquered. NFC East champs, right? Finished the season 12-5. Wow, this is our last regular season recap of the year, but just talk to me a bit about how you're feeling, how you were feeling in the bleachers.
Man, I mean, it was electric, man. It felt like a Dallas Cowboys home game for real. And I know from your point of view, you can see all the blue in the stands, but man, it was a good time, man. Even in there, like you could hear the Dak, here we go in full effect, finally getting that. But then just in the crowd, like every time a play was about to start, oh man, we was all loving it. And man, for real, we all expected that this would be the case. You know what I mean? I don't. It was a little people that was like, worried, like, oh, could we just go on the road and maybe they just play down in the competition. But this is the perfect one to go, obviously, into the playoffs with. And then didn't even matter. The Giants, they whoop up on the Eagles, right?
Right.
And we get Green Bay, man. And I don't think I really had a worry as far as like being scared of the Rams or Green Bay, but I prefer Green Bay. I will say that. And it should be a exciting playoff run. We got the Mike McCarthy going back to Green Bay, but let's talk this game, man. Dak is electric, man, and he might not win MVP. Whether it's bias or some people say Lamar Jackson, sealed or whatever it may be, but he definitely put out an MVP caliber season for sure, and he diced them up once again. Dak is in full effect. I'm happy to see what that's looking like heading into the playoffs. CeeDee did CeeDee things, continue to do what he needed to do, man. He's a beast. I continuously say that, but I think the best things I would say from this win, right? Was Tyler Hoffman stepping up.
Yeah.
He stepped up big time. When I seen Zach was out before the game and everything like that, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, how's this going to look? And just little things like that. And then TJ Bass, man, he came out and, man, the young boys is ready. The young boys was moving down there. And then it was good to see Tony Pollard look like Tony Pollard, man. I must say the run game looked good. And that's a huge step getting ready for the playoffs, man. It was fun.
No, and just to even hit on the run game, right? As a team, we averaged 4.5 per carry on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, as you mentioned, he sat at 4.1. His long was 12. Rico, man, 5.1 per carry.
Rico ran hard.
So it kind of does seem like the run game is clicking. I know it was some backups, but hey, they were playing against backups as well, right? So
sure,
backup O-line versus some backup D-line. But talk to me. I just kind of want to go back in time during this game, right? So game starts, Brett Maher block field goal, right?
Well, we can go before that, right? So
talk to me, bring me through it. I just want to know how that crowd was acting, right?
Just the energy. I mean, we was hyped like that. He came out right away, right? And I think what was the first touchdown? Was it Tolbert? Tolbert, right? And we all hype. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen anyway. It's hype. Here we go. Like I said, this is ongoing the whole time, right? And just to see that in full effect, so I'm like, well, we came out fine right away. First drive, kind of setting us up how we wanted to go. First play, obviously, I forgot who it was. I think it was Brian Robinson, the fumble. We going back the other way. So we all turned up. And I could see a Commanders fan in front of me. It's funny because the guy that's in front of me, he's a Cowboy fan, but his dad is a Commanders fan. And they come to the game together. So it's this weird dynamic. But obviously he was talking back and forth to me throughout the whole thing. So obviously we get the fumble, we going back the other way. The block kick happens. They going back now. Commanders fans, they is hype. I'm talking about they hype over there. You know what I mean? Now he's turning back to me. He's talking. How you feeling now? Oh, you don't look so happy. I'm telling him, it's all good, man. It's gonna be a long game. And it's funny because he was like, yeah, I'm just talking my shit now. I'm gonna just talk while while I got a chance to talk. But it was funny because when they was doing their thing, Commanders fans was also in the stands talking about, here we go, back and forth. So it was a nice little back and forth. But I think, once they got that, obviously that field goal to go up 10 and we went up 14, I think it took all the air out the building. And I mean, the place was rocking. It really felt like a Cowboys home game. CeeDee, back-to-back touchdowns. And then you could kind of see it from there, just like it was lit. And from there, second half, I mean, everybody was standing up. But once the second half came, you know how we be at home and everybody put their feet up, we laid back, we're like, all right, we see how the game going. Everybody sat down and started chilling after that and just started
Ah,
enjoying. But at first it was very hype. You know what I mean? But the boys showed up big, man. Micah still didn't get a holding call, right? But
right.
he came out with a sack. Jordan Lewis, I'm impressed with Jordan Lewis been doing. Deron Bland with another interception. Stephon Gilmore, hopefully everything checks out with that shoulder, man. But defense, all facets look good. Only thing is, I thought the boy, obviously the kicker Brandon Aubrey will break that record. He got a block. He missed the field goal. I'm like, that's the one thing I don't want
Right.
to have, leading into the playoffs. But I think he'll be all right, man.
Outside of Aubrey, I mean, he's been excellent all year. We were mad paranoid headed into the season, but outside of the block kick probably kind of shook him too, man. Your first block kick in the big leagues, like that probably did, wrinkle some feathers. But he goes 1 for 3 on the day. I think he finishes the year 35 or 37 or something like that.
Yes,
Like
sir. Or,
that's pretty.
or was it 36 or 38, I believe. I think he was at 35 before. I had to stat check that.
That's what I might be off on that one. But either way, phenomenal kicking season. It's crazy too because we kind of spoke about this game will probably be pretty close. Washington will contend, but they're a 2-quarter team, man. And once those 2 quarters are up, just like Ron
Yeah.
Rivera, they start packing, right?
Oh, they started off hot. It was
Oh, I
just
bet.
not, yeah.
But good for them, bro. They lose the game, and then what? They finish the season 4-13. That's a better draft pick.
Yeah, I was telling the Commanders fan that walking out, I was like,
You don't want to win that game.
yeah. I was like, look, it worked out for y'all. Got the number 2 pick. He was like, oh shit, man, what we do with the last number 2 pick? I'm like, I don't know, but at least you can get a quarterback this time. It's a little bit different if you find the right guy. It kind of just changed the tide of your franchise. And look, we got Ron verified, bro. So
You're welcome.
yeah. Look, y'all didn't really want to win this game. Maybe some young players wanted to play well, and you wanted to kind of put that forward. But I think in all, this is what we expected. I'm happy there was a big win. I think for a moment we kind of expected like, here's a division. Could it be kind of close, and how would that be? But I think the feel from this one is what I'm most excited about. You listen to Dak after the game, and they asking him like, hey, where your division had at? He like I want more, man. I ain't really putting that on, and
I respect
it
it.
seemed like, with him and Mike and all the leaders of the team is kind of singing that same tune where it's like this is nothing. We want more, and I think all the guys is hungry, and I got the feel that everybody feels that way.
I think too. So I'm trying to think. So I'm gonna just kind of go off script here. My pops, right? He's a Chargers fan, and I was just talking to him on the way home from work, and he was like, "Yeah, now that Ron Rivera got let go, I wonder if the Chargers are gonna look into that." I was like, "Bro, you don't want no
No
parts of
sir,
that,
no
no
sir.
parts of that." Back on topic though, Dak Prescott before the year started said, "I won't have 10 interceptions this year," right? And for a
Stood on
fact,
business.
stood on business, right? Finished this year with 9. Couldn't finish with 8. Had to get that tip pick, and I know the crowd was lit too on that because it was still early on.
Oh
But
yeah.
Dak called his shot, man, and I kind of want to go into it, but we don't have to too heavily, man. He goes 31 of 36, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick in the final game of this season. Does he have a dark horse shot at this MVP?
He sure like for me, that's all MVP. And then I felt like if you look at the stats, I think he edged Lamar Jackson out in damn near every category.
Bro, what?
But then it goes into obviously the Lamar Jackson rushing upside and things like that, and then Baltimore Ravens obviously having the NFL's leading record, and I think that puts a lot of stock into it. But I mean, if you asking me, like who's been like the most consistent all year round, and just balling out crazy, like from a quarterback standpoint, I think Dak, he deserves it. If he doesn't, what I mean, at least get the fair share of the votes to win this thing, it should be damn near close.
Yeah, I agree. I almost bought a ticket. He was like 18-1 last week, and I almost did it, but then it kind of seemed like Lamar had cinched it up after the 49ers game.
It seems like the
But
media is riding that narrative, so it seems like that's what it's gonna be.
hey, don't give it to him, right? Keep the boy hungry.
Yeah,
But just from the television, right? Damone Clark, man, I thought he had a phenomenal game.
he
He
did.
was out there in pass coverage. He was making key stops. And I know we've been pretty low on Dono, but I think Dono is kind of peaking right now.
I'm glad you said that because that's who I was gonna name as far as like seeing him, and
Woo.
Dano is a beast, and it's good to see him like getting those interceptions in back to back weeks now. And need plays like that from our safety. Curse is obviously Curse, but we need a guy to be that enforcer. And early in the year was like, he doesn't really look, much like himself. And I think he's kind of getting to that point. And it's weird because late in the season, guys start wearing down. But you want your best players playing their best ball in the season. And shout out to him.
Which at the same time, you mentioned Jay Lou, man. Jay Lou has had a phenomenal last couple of games.
And in run support, I'm talking about.
Yes,
Correct. He's
bro.
not the biggest guy, but J. Lou, he got that dog in him for sure.
So like, no, I think Damone Clark, he looks good, filling in that linebacker role. I think Dono is coming on at the right time, and Jay Lou kind of seems to have things clicking as well from his end. What else stood out to you in this game, though?
I would say one thing I asked for a little bit was seeing Kevontae Turpin back involved.
Hey, you did call that.
I was happy to see Kevontae Turpin. I called it Brandon Cooks touchdown. It's crazy. Played him in obviously Yahoo League, and he edged it out for me. Should have had 2 tubs, but but I think mainly I would say this. What stood out was Ferg, how athletic he is. Just seeing him in person, man. The guy beast, but also Peyton Hendershot. Did you see him leap the
Ooh.
guy, and then he got the pump block as well, man? I think underrated player for this game was Peyton Hendershot, man.
Yeah.
Beast. And if you're gonna be our second tight end, you out there blocking kicks, you leaping over guys, you making tough catches. He's getting down in the run game. Like that's important. And Shania who? I mean, like I talked about these young guards, man, and the way they showed up. I don't think we see Lyle Collins for this playoff run, barring
It,
something unforeseen as far as injuries and things like that.
it's crazy too, because I almost wonder if that Lyle signing was like a fire under their ass. Like, all
Hey,
right,
for
coach,
sure.
watch.
Yeah.
And quick too, Stephen Jones came out. I know this isn't the preview. Offensive line should be in full effect next weekend, he said. So that's promising as well. And I'm kind of glad we got to give Zach Martin and what's his name? Tyron a little rest out there as well.
I think it worked out as perfect as it could have been. Like, Zach Martin is that one guy, and it's kind of becoming it. Well, it was like a Tyron Smith thing, right? And then Tyler kind of allowed us to get past the situation, but it was always Zach. When Zach went out, it was like
Chaos.
boy, like and
It was Arizona.
yeah, for sure. Like, and it was kind of like relieving just to see him be out, get the rest he needed. And then those guys like kept humming. And if you thinking about like the run game, they was getting busy. But Dak, for the most part, Dak was comfortable in that pocket. They really wasn't getting no pressure on him. And shout out to them. And then like you said, he had an illness. It wasn't like they went into this thing saying we're gonna rest him, but it might have been a blessing in disguise that he was able to get that rest. And a guy like that, you don't need much for him to get ready, but just him being that much more fresher. 2 of your veteran guys, I think it's important. I think it is.
How cold was it out there?
It wasn't too bad. I
No.
expected it to be a lot colder, but I mean, when you hype and the energy is like that, it was cool. I wasn't sitting down too much anyway. You know what I mean? I'm high fiving, jumping around. I'm here we go. See, you know what I mean? I'm all in there, man. So nah, it wasn't too cold, man.
No, that's dope, bro. Getting to see the Cowboys lock up the 2 seed live in person.
Never seen them lost though.
Hey,
And every time I gotta go to Texas Stadium though, you know what I mean? But every time I've been there, we done beat up one of the Commanders. It's kind of like a tradition at this point, so and then speaking of that, Dak is now what 32-8 against the NFC East. You
something crazy.
talk about domination. Great McCarthy. Shout out to him. He's another one in this how he's talking right now. He's talking about Green Bay. He literally shot it down this time and was like they're just another opponent.
Good for him.
Not gonna give him too much talk. I haven't watched him much this year. And he said that one of the biggest mistakes was when they played Green Bay, him putting it to his players that, it was a big game for him and putting it on them. And he said, he made that mistake. And this year he realized that has nothing to do with coming out and getting this win. So he doesn't even talk about it no more.
Good for
So
him.
how you feel about that?
Good for it. No, that's exciting, bro. I got big faith in this one this weekend. I saw the line sitting at 7.5. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me all that. What?
Yeah. I feel good. As a Cowboy fan and knowing the history, I understand being nervous. Everybody waiting on our downfall, but like we're the better team. I know we doing a recap, but we might as well propel this thing forward and talk a little bit into the playoffs and just get a little introduction into this matchup. And now that we're finally here, they do some things well. A lot of misdirection and what I mean, the run game is strong, but if you think about it, man, that defense, they got problems. Like we seen that cooking, and Dak at home against that defense. I'm feeling good. And then the offensive line, I'm not gonna sit here and like we should get after them. I think if we score, and I think we will, I think we'll get after them. And a lot of people expect this thing to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys come out here and blow this thing out the way, you know what I mean, and kind of set the tone for the rest of the playoffs. And the path looks good. It looks good.
It looks good.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, and it's not that I think the Rams and Packers are both solid matchups in the playoffs, but I would much rather see the Stafford revenge game than us have to play the Rams, right?
Oh, the
I like that.
storylines.
The storyline's way better that way. And the storyline with McCarthy, the way things have ended in the playoffs and in the regular season with Green Bay the last couple of years. But I think we take them to the woodshed. I do. And I saw too, I think so. Dak and Jordan Love are tied the number 1 and number 2 in passing touchdowns. This is the first time 1 and 2 have met in the playoffs.
1 and 2. Who had 2?
Jordan Love.
Touchdowns. Jordan Love?
Yeah, bro.
No.
Yeah, Dak got 36. Love got 32.
No, false.
That means Jaden Reed got about 31. That's my guy.
All jokes aside, Jordan Love he's been playing well.
He's been balling.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
And the Packers,
Aaron Jones is back. You know what I mean? He's looking good. So it's not gonna be easy. But you know, it's like you can't sleep on them. And I don't think we will. I think they showed that this weekend. As far as what they did to Washington, we ain't sleeping on nobody. And I think with Green Bay, I think they coming out here and we out here to prove a point, because it's like, as much as we've been here at the top, we got all the doubters still. Everybody's still something. It's still they still expect us to be those frauds. They still expect us to be the Philadelphia Eagles. we two different teams, man. I think we here for real. You know, and I think once we get there to San Fran, I know everybody is scared. I think, you know, it's going to be a game that everybody didn't expect. I think they just coming out here and expect them to just walk all over us, and I think that works in our favor. But let's not get too far ahead. Like I said, I like the path. Philly.
What? Give me that again, bro. Give me that ass again, Philly.
To the Giants. Like, look, if we can get past Green Bay, and mysterious enough, if the Rams come in there, which I think they got a good chance of doing, knocking off Detroit, and we get winner of Philly or Tampa, man, bring it on. Bring it on. This is what you could have asked for when we started the season, what we envisioned. Did we want the number 1 seed? Of course. You know what I mean? But we get these home games in Dallas, and I think the path to getting to that 6 is very visible right now, and it's definitely possible. I'm loving it.
No, I like that a lot. I think that's it from my side, though. If you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Your boy's trying to go to AT&T Stadium this weekend.
Let's go.
Hit me on Cash App, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that's it from my side. You got any final words?
Nah. I mean, I heard just fall at all the tickets that you're seeing right now, and I did see online that it's inflated right now. So they was like, just hold off a little bit, and then you'll see the actual ticket sales coming through.
There we go.
And we want to make this thing an all white. So all the Cowboy fans, you see, it's an all white event. So no other colors. You know what I mean? Let's keep all the Green Bay Packers fans out there. We can keep out. And let's keep this home field advantage and make this thing electric at AT&T, man. And you know what I mean? Like I said, we'll be back in another one, obviously, before the week is off. Well, over with, before we hit into these playoffs. I don't know if it's gonna be Saturday. Don't know if it's gonna be Sunday, but boy, Monday feels good, man. Shout out to the boys, man. NFC champs, man. Feels good. Peace.